Hello folks and welcome. Linux Mint 22.1 Xfce desktop. Productivity and calendars. I have a calendar and contact piece of software for you today that we can put in birthdays and some events that have times on them. This actually also does calculations, as in it takes 25 minutes for that to all change. So I'm going to talk about a piece of software that I'm not going to be using everything on it. I'm just going to talk about contacts and calendars in this video for today for productivity for Linux Mint 22.1 Xfce, filming in 1080. Subscription logo is in the corner. Well over 550 videos on all kinds of subject matter. I explain everything that I do on my channel. Linux is for all skill levels. Linux is for all ages. So the calendar that comes with the Mint Xfce is this one. You generally can't click that to put birthdays in there. So I'm going to talk about something like this. Now we need to install a piece of software. So in either case, I'm going to close the welcome screen and again say welcome, filming in 1080. We can go online also if you're using online calendars like Google, for instance, or we can install software. So evolution you can get from Software Manager. Evolution. Type in Evo. You should be able to find it. Are there others? Yes. But I'm only going to talk about this one today. Evolution, however you want to pronounce it, is a suite. It generally has an email client and other software. This is normally blurry until you click that to make it bigger. You have a system package, which I have installed, and you can see the size of it, or you can also install the Flatpak version. I'm not going to talk about the email part of it. I'm going to be talking about the calendar part of it, and also the contacts for that piece of software. So contacts and calendar is what I'm going to be using as part of this suite. This icon and this caption is non-standard. I just put a new icon and caption onto the same application. If you want to know how to do that, end of the video. So type in Evo. You're looking for that if you have it installed. You can add it to your favorites. You can add it to your desktop. And again, the shortcut will look like that, not like this one. And you can also add it to your panel two ways. You can click, it puts it in the right-hand corner, and then you can move it over to here, or you can just drag it. I will drag it downstairs. Bounce it around until you find a plus sign and let go of it. It is a launcher. Okay? That's what it looks like. Doesn't matter how I slice this. The first time you open this up, it's going to ask you for personal information. You'd like your email address. Just ignore that if you don't want to use that part. I'm not using the email portions of it, but generally it's going to ask you silly questions. So I'm only using calendar and contacts today. There's also tasks and memos. But I'm going to start with the contacts. So generally there's nothing here. And you just you'll have some text in here that says double click here. You can also rearrange the furniture slightly, however you want to divide this out. Double click to put in your entries. So what do I have? I got Bob Tester, Gary Tester, Mary Tester. All right, how about Kim Tester? Why not? The Tester family. The Tester family, all humor aside, we can add phone numbers and even notes. I'm just going to leave it at that. So now I got that. So Bob Tester, yeah, I know it's a silly name. Gary Tester, Mary's brother. Mary's over here, and Mary likes to get a birthday card instead of a text message, and who doesn't? If you put in a proper street, you may be able to open up the map part, but I'm not going to deal with that right now. So if you have a user that you've created and you want to get rid of them, it's pretty simple. It's to highlight, right-click, and delete. You'll be asked for a confirmation. It's a very fast contact manager. And again, you can rearrange the furniture here. So now I'm going to open up the calendar portion. So the calendar portion comes with day, work week, week, month, year, and list of events. You may not like the color scheme, but we can change all that. Switching over to month, this part is mobile. You can resize that on the fly, and also this side of the house. If you have ever seen any of my 500 plus videos, I'm also known for tips and tricks on doing all kinds of things with Windows. Double click with your mouse or double tap with your touchpad. I'm assuming that works on the touchpad, but I don't really care for those things. So again, we're just resizing windows. If you want to continue using that tiny button, be my guest. I don't really care for that thing. So at any time you're flying around in your calendar here and you want to go back to today's date, just click that once and it will highlight today's date. And today's date is May 16th, 2025. And here's your hamburger menu with tons of options. Under Edit and Preferences, you will find a whole slew of stuff. I'm going to continue. To add or adjust events or schedules in your calendar, you can add them with time frames on them or without time frames on them. And you can also change the colors. So if I were to just go into an area where it's not so busy, how about Gary's birthday? Let's redo this one. Right click. Since the calendar is perpetual, in other words, it has an entry for Gary's birthday next year, we have these events that we can delete. If I use a single entry over here, I'll usually only have delete occurrence. Hopefully that was clear. And we're going to create anything we want to in here, pretty much. It's just a generic box. So if we do Gary's birthday or B-Day, just do it for short. Generally, birthdays occur once a year and it's not a timed event. It doesn't have a start and ending time in one day, so we do an all-day event. Then, of course, you want the reoccurrence occur unless you're not going to use this calendar in the future, but you put the appointment, this appointment reoccurs when? Once every 1 year. For how long? Forever. Because his birthday is only once a year. Do you want to have a reminder about Gary's birthday? Maybe send him a text, email, maybe a card. That would be nice. Mary likes a card for her birthday instead of a text message. Anyways, moving along. Silliness aside, it's going to take on the color for default. So there's Gary's birthday, but you can see Kim's is red. Now if I go to the list, the ones that are in red are birthdays. It's just a color scheme I picked. You can choose any one of them. With the exception of one, Gary's birthday is in blue. If I want Gary's birthday to be red so I can look at this event list really quickly to see birthdays, then I would just alter the color. Right click, double click, I apologize, double click. And then color boxes here. Pick the appropriate color. We have a lot of folks out there that are, well, color sensitive. So again, at least we can do some minor changes. All right, this is just asking me because it knows it's a reoccurring event. Do you want to adjust this one only? Well, if I do, then it will only be for this year. I want this to be either future, this and future, or all instances. So now it's all. Now all the birthdays are in red. And when I go in here, I can tell in the menu immediately what birthdays there are. This one, this one, this one, anything in red. All right. Now let's talk about regular events. I can put in single events or double events. Like this one here on the 23rd of July, and we can look at it in here this way too, or we can look at it this way. So July 23rd has two events, test 1 and test 2. And it's even got the calculated hours on that. So how do we make something like that? Well, I'm going to just create a blank entry for July 29th. Double click, put in whatever you want in here. So if this is wash day, then it's wash day. Then it will be an all-day event, more likely. You can double click again in here for the same day if you got another event. Let's say Bob's visit. I don't know. I'm just making stuff up. So Bob is coming by at 10 a.m. So let's go click that and put in 10 a.m. And how long is Bob staying? Well, I really don't know. Depends on how well we know Bob. But we're just going to put him at roughly 1 o'clock. So we're going to do a save. So that's a timed event versus the other one that says all day. So a lot of these things are calculated for you too, depending on the trigger point. Like that says 1 hour and 25 minutes. And that one says 2 hours and 55, for instance. But maybe you don't like the color. Maybe I want it to be green like that one. Then just change it. Now, it didn't ask me any more questions. Also, if I wanted to delete that, I have a single delete entry for this one versus this one is not a single delete entry because it knows it has reoccurrences. And those reoccurrences can be in weeks or months or years. So whenever you're doing an entry, and let's say it's an all-day eventing, and the reoccurrence happens how often? 2 times every month. Add. So when we get this, you can see that we have now entries that are kind of messy, but more importantly, this has a reoccurring event. So if we right click on that, you can see now that it has the same selections. So I'm going to get rid of that one because that one's kind of silly. But you do single entries for single entries and then a yearly entry for yearly entries, especially birthdays. All right. In other words, I think this is a decent calendar, personally. And then you can choose the color schemes you want to use. And it's a nice feature to see the events, and you can also click on them. That's a dual. That's a single. But more importantly, you can see the underscores and the highlighting. Okay, so go in full screen. Not so much. Minimize. Single click. Double click. And I'm going to switch this over to month. Would you like to know how to do these icons with custom? All right, I'm going to start with this one. That's the standard icon. Now, depending on your icon set that you picked, I'll only talk about this once. Your style and appearance has a bearing on what these icons look like because not all icon themes and sets are the same. Nonetheless, that's what I'm using. Right click, properties, leave it lit up, hit the little gear symbol. So this is a launcher, and this is also a launcher. I'm not going to change the name, I'm just going to show you the icons themselves. It doesn't matter what I pick, they're just icons. Now, since this didn't start at the top, I will scroll to the top. Again, these are just icons. Can I use custom ones? Yes, but I've talked about also doing something special when you're using custom icons because your system needs to find those custom icons during a reboot, which I'm not going to cover in this video, but I have those kind of videos. Anyways, I'm going to use the same icon as this one is using. Appointment soon is what it's called. I'm not editing the command line. I'm not editing the name at all. All I'm doing is editing the icon. This still works the same. If you go, I don't want that anymore, fine, just remove it. You want to go back to your standard icon? This time I'm just going to drag it down there, bounce it around until I can find that red line, and let go of it. Now you're back to your standard icon. How do you do this for this? Well, trying to highlight that thing. There we go. Evo, right click, add to desktop, put it wherever you want. I'll stick it in the center for right now. Right click, edit launcher, because these are launchers. If you've ever seen my videos on how to create launchers, I also show how to create shutdown launchers and reboot launchers for multiple systems. Not all Linux distributions are treated equally. Some of our commands are slightly different, but in either case, launchers are launchers. So what I'm going to do is just change its name, because that's not a big deal. I'm not altering the program at all. So my calendar. I'm going to use the and symbol and the word contacts. Spelling doesn't even count. Icon, pick something. Anything will work. It's just an icon. It is literally just an icon. I'll just click that, just to be funny. This still operates the same way. There's no difference. It's just a shortcut. They're both the same application because I did not alter the actual command line. That is the same command line. As a matter of fact, when I click this open, I want you to see what that box looks like when I click this one also. So not much of a difference, is there? Nope, other than the icon. It's the same dialog boxes though, whether it's on your desktop or on your panel. The other one was on the panel. The only difference on that one is I had to right click and hit properties, click that in the gearbox. Most people don't. Thank you for watching.